Ayan. Hi everyone, good afternoon. In a few minutes, we are about to begin for Facebook ads for small and local businesses. Ayan, so to all of you na merong maliit and medium size or even large business, this one's for you, and you may also have a career by learning how to create and optimize Facebook ads like Miss Nica. So, can someone confirm if the audio is nice in LinkedIn or in YouTube? So, Miss Nica, no, we have a delay from the actual. The latency is around 20 seconds. Ayan. So, late nila maririnig. Ayan, so once more, in a few minutes at 2 p.m. we are about to begin for Facebook ads for small and local businesses. Check ko lang. Ayan, can someone comment down below if the audio is okay in YouTube? So in a few minutes, we are about to begin for Facebook ads for small and local businesses. Check ko lang. Ayan, can someone comment down below? Ayan, narinig. Okay na siya. If the audio is confirmed. And going live in 3, 2, 1 in LinkedIn. If you think this live stream in LinkedIn is beneficial to someone you know, please invite them to join us. Ayan. So I'm seeing here, Miss Nica, we are now live. Yeah, so excited. Actually, we planned for this in person with Miss Nica, I don't know, 1 year or 2 years ago, but never came into fruition. So we're happy we can do this. The only difference is now it's online, and hoping we can reach as more people as we can. Ayun. So while waiting, Miss Nika, pasuyo na lang din pala, paki-share, paki-inform lahat ng friends natin. Like what I'm about to do right now, informing them, hey, we are about to start. Nasa na kayong lahat? mm. Ayan, so after our live stream with Miss Nika, to our friends who are into the world of architecture, engineering, and construction, we have another live stream for you at 4 p.m. So we are very busy this day. 4 p.m. It's about introduction to 4D BIM. Ayan, to all who are into architecture, engineering, and construction and building information modeling. Ayan, we have another live stream at 4 p.m. after our Facebook ads with Miss Nica. Good afternoon, Ma'am Meet Z, and looking forward to your version of LinkedIn ads or LinkedIn strategies. Ayan. So for those who are into digital arts, inviting everyone to join us in Digital Creatives Philippines. And also tonight, so it's Miss Nica first and then Miss April for 4D BIM, and tonight we have basic animation in 3ds Max. This one will be in nighttime. So it's basic animation using 3ds Max. So if you're not yet familiar with the 3ds Max, 3ds Max is the number one Ichiban software for creating 3D assets for games as well. Ayan. So Ma'am Vanessa Sundian, thank you once more for joining us, and pa-share naman po ng ating live to someone whom you think na they will benefit from. Ayan, sa ating ginagawang live stream ngayon, which is about promoting your business, your brand, your products and services through Facebook ads. And on July 11, we will be having Dennis De Silva on how to have a fulfilling career. Ayan, so stay tuned for that as well. Ayun, si Ma'am Roch. Hi, Ma'am Roch. Sorry, Ma'am Roch, hindi po kami naka-attend. Ayan, last time. Ayan, so pag alam nyo po itong Facebook ads na to, it can be a career for you wherein you get to have clients na they have almost all companies naman large and small have marketing budgets, and I am aware some of those they dedicate their marketing budgets into Facebook, YouTube. Ayan. So, actually, right now, we have a new client din, Timely pala to. Our client, ayan, share ko lang. Ayan. Is insisting na i-promote namin sila through Facebook ads. So, ayan. So, plenty more opportunities. Tama si Miss Roch. At Miss Roch, girl power pala to. This is about girl power pala. So, Ma'am Roch, will you be so kind to join us para hindi yung kaming dalawa lang ni Miss Nica. Wala ta si si Sir Raymond. O late siya dadating. Pero I invited him also to join us. O parang sa LinkedIn, parang mas marami ako nakikitang ladies na into LinkedIn. Parang more sa speakers natin dito sa LinkedIn Meet Philippines ay mga magigiting na bini-bini. Ayan. So kami din po no dati we tried promoting our events in Facebook ads. I'm sure marami rin akong matututunan dito on best practices kasi what we did is ayun lang, boost lang, lagay lang ng amount and then suntok sa buwan, sana may mapansin, may umatid. Oo. Pero I'm sure there's a deep science behind this one. Ayan, so in a few minutes we are about to begin for Facebook ads for small businesses. Ayan. And naghahanap pa tayo no sa mga interested din. Pwede naman Miss Roch na audio lang. Ayan. Dapat sana si Miss Nelsie ang magsasub sa akin dito ngayon kaya lang nahiya din. Marami akong mga ka-teammates na pinapa-attend ko. Ayan, good afternoon to our friends in ASUS. I hope you're tuned in. Miss Janet, good afternoon po. Ayan, thank you po. Kasama namin kayo lagi. Ayan, nakita ko po yung message ni Ma'am Janet. Ayan, pero hindi ko pa nadadigest. Ayan, so yung mga nag-aantay din, no? Next time, we will be having Miss Mitzi once more kung paano naman ma-optimize yung mga makakuha tayo ng mga leads sa LinkedIn. Ayan. So I'm not sure on ano yung ano ba yung equivalent ng Facebook ads sa LinkedIn. Di ako sure doon. Ma'am Nica, alam mo ba yung ano tawag sa equivalent ng Facebook ads sa LinkedIn? Can someone comment down below daw kung ano yung equivalent ng Facebook ads sa LinkedIn? Oo. Ayan, so marami tayong ayan. Ayun, pumasok na si Idol. Ayan, Sir Raymond, good afternoon. Ayan, kaya hindi ako naniniwala na kinakabahan to si Ma'am Nica, hindi. Sabi niya kanina, bit shy eh. Ayan ma'am, ang dami ko na pinasok na tao ma'am para may kasama ka. Good afternoon Ma'am Roch. Ayan. For impromptu, no? Yeah, si Sir Raymond, biglaan ko lang din niyaya niyan eh. Oh, so I'm sure din po maraming walang zero knowledge about Facebook ads. Isa po ata diyan si Sir Raymond. Kaya para nag-aalangan siya na sumawa. Mm. Ayan. So for those who are curious kung sino po yung ibang mga kasama po natin today. Girls first daw, kindly introduce yourself, Ma'am Roch. So, saan ba natin kukontakin si Miss Roch? Ayan. So next, sa mga curious, Sir Raymond. Oh, so the way this goes, Miss Nica, is we may probably butt in from time to time para maging parang more on conversational yung engagement. Hindi yung hindi yung mag-isa ka lang switch ng slides, lahat kami nakaganon na, 'di ba? Ayun. Cause definitely we will be having viewers na ayun zero knowledge talaga. Ayan. So we are seeing now your ano na pala no. So paano ka daw nag-start diyan, ma'am? O nasa ano mo 'yan? About. Sige, ma'am, hindi na kita tatanungin 'yon. So without further ado, ayan, take it away, Miss Nica. Ayan. Absolutely yes. Yes. Mm.
to see sales. But then it's actually detailed here in this post that if I finish the post, I would get more reactions, comments, and shares. Facebook didn't really mention that I would get a conversion by clicking on boost post. So with boosting, it's really more of extending your reach, like to get more comments, reactions, and shares. Like for instance, with the post that I've had, there are about 6 likes and around 6 shares, one comment. So if I want to increase that number, I would need to boost that particular post. So even here, it's still very insistent that I could reach up to 3,765 people daily for a $10 budget if I finish boosting my post. Of course, I did not click on it because I know that it won't generate any sales for me or any conversions at all. So whenever you use the boost post, you can expect to get more likes, more shares, more comments, but don't expect that you would get conversions.
So, Nika, is it right to
Yeah.
say that you only boost when you want your brand to be known?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
More
So if you
exposure.
want,
Okay.
yeah, if you want to get to extend your reach further, it's like right now, if you are currently posting on your page without using any boost post, the people who would see those posts are your followers or people who like your page.
Right, right.
Yeah. So yeah, boosting is not equal to sale. So yeah, yeah, yeah. We can explore that next time, like for like an experiment in a way. So yeah, so boosting is primarily good to combat few or declining organic reach. So if you don't use boost posts or you just post as is on your Facebook page, you would notice that even if you have like 500 likes or 500 followers, you would see I don't get enough engagement. I mean, minsan 10 likes or minsan wala pa nga, or even it's not getting any like comments, or no one's clicking on it. So if you boost it, you can extend your reach and be able to target potential customers. But of course, just getting your brand out there. So yeah, that's why it's good to reach a wider targeted audience. And tama po si Miss Rush, is to get your brand out there. So you really can't expect any sales or conversions by solely using boost posts.
Gets ko na kung bakit hindi gumana yung sa akin. Okay.
Yeah.
Lesson
So,
learned.
yeah. So, but if you want to turn visitors into paying customers or repeat buyers, you're serious about gaining new customers and learning about it. So, emphasis about learning about them. Kasi sometimes business owners have this idea, okay, I want to target the millennials. They would be more interested in this product that I'm selling. But then, when you run the Facebook ads, you would notice that you were getting more purchases from like the older demographic, like around 35 to 40. So that's why it's not always the case that you know who to market to. So sometimes you have to make those tests. But then again, if you want to explore Facebook ads, you need to have money for testing. So may mga business owners said that they're expecting that if they put money for Facebook ads, they would immediately see results like within a week or within 2 weeks. But you need to allot money for testing. I know it's going to be like hard for some, of course. It's not easy cash. You would need to pay for the ads that you're gonna run, and you don't know if that would work or not. So if okay lang sa'yo to like allot a certain amount for testing, get to know your audience better, which types of ads they're currently clicking or engaging with. So you're ready for Facebook ads. So that's just like a quick disclaimer to those who would like to explore it. Talagang during the first 2 weeks, especially, it's the most crucial one. The first 2 weeks to 4 weeks, because you're not entirely sure. I mean, you would definitely need a lot of tests for that particular period. Yeah.
Nika? I
Yeah,
actually
sure.
had an experience before. I think the lowest amount that I can spend for an ad was $5. I'm not sure right now how much would
Mm-hmm.
be the lowest amount that I can have for my ads.
Um, for for USD, sir, no? For
Yes, yes.
USD, actually, $5 is the minimum. But I was able to like run an ad recently, a few weeks ago, $3 daily budget. But that's because the audience that I'm delivering ads to is really small. So sometimes, even if you put a $3 budget, kung masyadong um, I mean, hindi enough yung budget, it would not still run. So, po pwede pa rin po siya na $3. But then, yun nga, depende dun sa audience size kung mag-run yung ads. So, if it's not delivering, you would need to increase the ad budget.
Yeah, it requires investment din talaga on
Yeah,
your part.
yes.
Agree.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is, yeah. So why Facebook ads? I've actually posted about this in my LinkedIn profile, in my posts. I uploaded a document about Facebook ads versus Google ads, and was also mentioning that I'm not being biased. Although, yeah, I would still prefer Facebook ads because of these three reasons. So it has really a very powerful targeting tool. As in, you'll be surprised that there are a lot of things that you can target via Facebook ads. So I would reveal it later in the next in the upcoming slides. Another thing is that you actually get measurable results. So even though you're not sure, so yun yung problem mostly eh. So you would invest this amount, tapos you're not sure if you're gonna get results, right? So you don't know if yung ininvest mo, like let's say $500, you would get it back immediately. So, but then the ads manager, it would show you what's happening inside. I mean, you would be able to know na, bakit kaya I'm not getting my investment back? There must be something that I need to adjust in my current campaigns for me to be able to get back my investment. Not just by 100%, but 300%, 500%. That's actually possible. You can definitely get a return on investment of up to that amount. And then another reason why Facebook ads is something that you should consider is the ability to remarket. So let's say you were actually boosting posts initially. So you were getting comments, you were getting shares, likes from people who saw your ad or whom you targeted using boost post. Don't think that sayang kasi I use the boost post, because you can still create an audience that you would help you target those people who engage with them. So kahit nag-like lang sila at the first time they saw your ad, kung pwede na in the next campaigns that you run, they would turn into customers na. Probably the first time they saw your post when you boosted it, they were just really curious, or they found your content relevant to them. But at that stage, hindi pa sila ready to trust you and buy from you. So
Mm.
hindi siya sayang if you boosted that ad, kasi you would be able to remarket to them using the Facebook ads custom audiences. So yeah, do you have any questions for now?
I think just to add to that, Nika, I think it's
Mhm.
the opportunity for you to boost is also an opportunity for you to engage. Because
Yeah.
so I've had experiences where not only did they like the post, but they also sent me a message through that page. And
Mm-hmm.
so through that page, you engage with your audience or whoever sent you that message, and you get to kind of do an elevator pitch or let them know what you do,
Yeah.
and see if they could become like potential customers. And so
Yeah.
I think the investment is worth it too if you get
Yeah.
that kind of engagement, other than just getting the reactions like likes
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff like that. Pero pag nag-message, that's your opportunity to make sure that you're building your brand even further.
Yeah, exactly. That's thank you for adding that insight.
Sure.
Okay. So if you're considering Facebook ads, so what do you need? Kasi especially since COVID-19 happened, there were a lot of people who were messaging me that they wanted to run Facebook ads. And then I asked them, do you have a website? They would tell me that they don't. Or sometimes I ask them for their Facebook page link. And then while they do have a Facebook page, it's empty. So it's important that when you're
Mm.
considering to run Facebook ads, you must have a Facebook page with relevant and updated content. Because when people see your ad for the first time, so it shows up on their feed while they're browsing, they would actually verify what you're selling. Like they would click on your Facebook page to see what's in it for them. They would visit your website. They would check comments. They would check reviews. So people are actually checking those things before they engage further with that particular product or service. So this isn't just a like I'm just telling it right now, but it's actually based on observations and from also talking to other marketers I know, even their way of buying products online. So they would tell me, this is actually the way I would, uh, whenever I see this ad, like a product that I would be interested in, even though it looks really promising or something that I'm actually looking for right now, I don't immediately purchase. They would tell me, yeah, because I would check first what's inside their Facebook page. Are there people who bought already? Are they legit? Are they, do they satisfy their customers? Are they easy to talk to? So there are a lot of considerations. So that's why it's really important to have a Facebook page and preferably a website. And yeah, so of course you would need a Facebook ad account to run your ads. And then a business manager account. So this is actually not required, but beneficial. You will know later on why it's important. And of course, a credit card or a PayPal account, because of course you would need to pay for the ads. It's not it's not free. So yeah, these are actually the prerequisites of before you start running or like using the Facebook ads.
Nika, I
Yeah,
just
sure.
remember our mentor before. He said that we avoid uh, lacking photos,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it is your Facebook account or
Mm-hmm.
your website, because if people would see lacking photos, there are no photos in some of the portion, then it
Mm-hmm.
decreases your credibility also.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very important to build your credibility and to gain trust among your potential customers. So yeah, and it's not enough to have a Facebook page. It must be updated. Like even have like content 2 to 3 times a week. That's enough like to build organic engagement. And then yeah, so we can dive in next to the ads manager if we don't have any questions for now.
There are
Um,
no questions yet, Nika. So
okay.
we're good. Yeah.
All right. So let me show you the ads manager. So this is actually my ad account that I've created. So if you show this to like a total newbie, chances are they would feel overwhelmed. Like, where do I start?
Yes, like me.
Oo nga.
But like, how do I even work around here? Like, what are those numbers, those columns? What are these ad sets? Or like, yeah. But actually, if we put it simply, or if we translate this simply, it actually looks like this. So that's actually the like simplest way to explain the ads manager. So you have the campaign, you have under the campaign, you have an ad set, and then under an ad set, you have an ad. Or you could also put it this way. So you have a campaign, 3 ad sets, and in each ad set, there's one ad. Or you can add more. You can have more ads under one ad set. So it's actually easier to understand if I explain it this way rather than go to the ads manager, show the different sections, and like confuse some of our attendees about the numbers that they're seeing or the columns. But in fact, it could be further simplified into this chart. So what are these 3 words that you're mostly seeing? The campaign, ad set, and ad. So basically, for the ad or the ad level is the copy or the creative that we see on our newsfeed, on our stories, even on Messenger. So that's the ad. So it tells us what this company is selling or the creative. So it could be a video as well. The ad set is the target audience. So this is where you input the settings on how you want to define your target audience. So I would explain that further later. And then, of course, we have the top level, which is the campaign or your business goal. So what's your primary reason for using Facebook ads? Do you want to generate leads? Do you want to increase the sales of your e-commerce website? Do you want to generate inquiries, for instance, for your services? So it depends on your goal on how you're going to set up your campaign, your ad set, and your ad. Okay, so let's begin with the campaign level or your business goal. So with the campaign level, yeah, so this is actually what happens if you click on the create. Let me switch back to the previous one. So if you click on the create button there, this is what would show up. So create new campaign. So it would ask you to choose an objective. So what's your marketing objective? Do you want brand awareness, engagement, video views, conversions, catalog sales, or traffic? So in comparison with boosting posts, you're not able to see this different types of objectives. It's very limited. Although we have the so-called targeted boost post where you can input like the location or yeah, as Miss Rosh mentioned, the radius. You can also add some interests in there, but it's not as detailed as the ads manager.
Mm.
So yeah, these are the available objectives that you can select when creating a campaign on Facebook Ads Manager. So how do you decide on which objective to choose? So is it awareness, consideration, conversion? There are quite a lot of options. But actually, this is a version of the buyer's journey. So the buyer's journey is where the awareness, consideration, and decision stage. So for an awareness, you have ideas to grow your business but don't know where to begin. So you would want to make them aware that your brand or your product exists. And then there's the consideration stage. So there are competitors, but why should these customers pick you over your competitors? And then the decision or the conversion stage is where the sales or the purchase actually happens. So if you're gonna choose an objective, make sure that you know the stage of your buyers. So are they aware? Are they actually at the point of considering because you have like a lot of competitors? There is a saturated market. Or are they actually the ones who are already uh, thinking of purchasing or completing a sale from your business? So to give some examples, so this one, this is more of a traffic ad. So if you click on here, it would direct you to their landing page about how to discover how Upwork can simplify your life, for instance. And the second one, for instance, they're asking uh, the ones they targeted to download a free guide. So it's more of a consideration part. And then for here, like shop now. So this can be like a conversion ad already. So probably people who already bought from the site and then they would be seeing these ads. So yeah, it's important to know your business goal on why you've decided to run Facebook ads for your business.
And your business goal also determines the kind of call to action that you'll include in your ad. Because, like for example, in this example right now for Zalora, the call to
Mhm.
action button says "shop now," and
Yeah.
that will generate. And that your goal there is to generate sales. Versus the previous one says "download," tama ba?
Yeah.
Download, which might not lead to a sale, but what it leads to is more engagement. If that's what
Yeah.
your objective is, okay.
Yeah. It could also be that if you're asking them to download, you would ask for their name, their email, for
Lead
you to send.
generation.
Yeah, lead gen.
Got it. Okay,
It would also be.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's about it for the campaign level. So we move on to the ad set level. And the most important question that you have to ask here is how well do you know your audience? So that's why I'm always stressing it in some of my LinkedIn posts that it's important to know your audience well. Do you know their status? So are they married, single? Do they have kids? How does their typical day look like? Where are they based? That's because those information that I've just mentioned will be necessary for you to define your audience. So this is the part where you create the audience that you would want to target for your ads. So of course, you need to input the location, the age, the gender, even the languages. And then where it gets the powerful targeting tool that I'm mentioning about is the detailed targeting section. So actually, there are three types of audiences that you can target on Facebook. So one can be a saved audience, a custom audience, or a lookalike audience. So let's first start with the saved audience. So basically, a saved audience, you would input the details here. So you would put the location that you want to target, the age, let's say 25 to 50, the gender, perhaps you want to target only women. And then if it's an area where most of them are speaking, like for instance, Spanish, and you want to target only English speaking people, so you also select the English language there. And then like interests that you can add on the detailed targeting, and then you would be able to save it so that for future campaigns you can actually select it already rather than input again the details from location to up to the detailed targeting. So you can just save it, and then you're just going to click on use a saved audience.
How many saved audiences can you have? May limit lang.
For I'm not so sure because I'm not so sure. I don't think there's a limit.
Okay, so you can just create more audiences as you go along and experiment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
And then for the interest targeting, so you have here the detailed targeting. So what interests are available? So you can target customers based on their education, financial status, life events, parents. So for parents, if you're like a parent of a 0 to 3 months old, parent of a teenager, parent of a preteen, so relationship, work, even the business and industry, so family, fitness. So there are actually a lot of interests that you can target on Facebook. So even the mobile device user, so you can target like I only want to target, for instance, people who are using iPhone X or iPhone 10 and like 11 Pro. So yeah, you can select that. You can also select people who are interested in online shopping. So like with purchase behavior, you can select engage shoppers. So there's that option. So yeah, there are a lot of interests that you can target inside the ads manager. So the next one that I would be talking about is the custom audience and the lookalike audience. So for custom audience, you can actually use your sources. So this was, if you recall from my first few slides that I was discussing on, I mentioned about not being worried about using the boost post, like sayang sana hindi na lang para ako nag-boost. So you can actually remarket to them using the custom audience. So if you select here, the Facebook page, you can choose like everyone who engaged with the page in the last, like let's say 30 days, 60 days, 180 days. So you would be able to create an audience wherein those people are those who actually like, share, or message you on Facebook, and then you wanted to remarket to them. So even for Instagram, for events, for website traffic, even if you have an existing, you're using email marketing, so you can export your customers from there and then upload it on the Facebook ads manager so you can target them again via Facebook. However, if you're considering Facebook to target website visitors, so you would need Facebook pixel code. So the Facebook pixel code is actually something that is installed in the website. So I would show you a sample from my own website. So here, so this is actually my website, and I installed a pixel helper here. So that way, if someone visits this site and since the pixel is installed, if they go back to Facebook and I'm running an ad to remarket to people who visited my website, they would be able to see my ad. So this is what happens when you like go to Lazada or go to Zalora, for instance, and then or even like airlines, you're like browsing ticket sales, and then once you go back to your Facebook feed, you would see the products that you were browsing before, or you would see like the countries that you were like checking airplane ticket rates for. So, parang ito yung nagmo-monitor ng activity mo dun sa website ng company. So, yeah, I bet most of us, or yeah, if not all of us, actually encountered this, that you're just mindlessly like browsing through this e-commerce site, and then when you return to Facebook, you notice that the products that you viewed before, they're actually showing up on your feed, like reminding you that uh, you actually were interested in these products. Perhaps you would want to purchase them because you would get like a discount, or it's free shipping, or they offer cash on delivery. So yeah, that's definitely because they have a pixel installed. So you can actually add this to your Google Chrome site. So it's free to download. So you can just download Facebook Pixel Helper, and then you can see which companies, brands are actually utilizing the Facebook Pixel.
Mm.
So the Facebook pixel is like a stalker who follows you wherever you go,
Kinda,
and
kinda,
then
yeah,
remembers that, and then suggests or
yeah,
recommends to you what you previously saw, and then you might be interested once again. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Especially if you actually like add to cart a product and then something happens, so exit mo muna, do other things, and then like later that night you saw it again, like complete your purchase now and get an additional discount, because they noticed that you added to cart but then you haven't completed it yet,
Yeah.
so you would be targeted by that ad.
Or even if it's on your wish list. If it's on your
Yeah.
wish list,
Yeah.
and that happened to me on Lazada just this morning. So I was looking at something, just looking at
Mhm.
it. Tapos wish list ko lang kasi I don't plan to, it's not urgent. And then when I went back to Facebook and I started scrolling, nakita ko na naman siya. So it's like it's reminding you, you put this in your wish list. You might want to make that purchase now before it goes
Yeah.
away. Ganun.
Mhm. Exactly. So that's a way to stalk customers by having the pixel code installed.
Nika, is
So
the
yeah,
sorry, is the FB pixel also used by FB Ads Manager for tracking,
yes,
like number of clicks, how many
yes,
add to
yes,
carts, things like
yes,
that.
yeah. So this would help you get accurate data. So if you recall, I mentioned a while ago at the start of the discussion about Facebook giving measurable results. So it's important that the pixel is installed properly, because I've had like discovery calls with business owners wherein they have two pixel codes installed, or they only install the page view pixel, so that when people view their content or add to cart, they have no data on it because those lead event pixel code is not installed. So it would help you. I mean, this is the first step, like really properly install your Facebook pixel to make sure that the results you're seeing on the ads manager is actually working or showing the correct results. So otherwise, you would need to double check on the back end. And the problem, if you don't have a pixel installed, you wouldn't know from which ad set did that purchase or sale come from. So if you remember from our previous slides, I was talking about like having multiple ad sets inside a campaign. So if you don't have the pixel installed, although you are still able to run Facebook ads, you wouldn't know if that sale came from, for instance, from the 25 to 35 demographic or the 36 to 55 demographic, for instance. So it's very important that the pixel is installed, especially if you have an e-commerce website.
Nika, I'm curious.
Yeah.
How could someone have two? Hindi ko alam kung hindi lang ako techie, but
Mhm.
how could someone have two pixel codes?
Chances are they have two ad accounts. So each ad account has one pixel. So probably they were using a different ad account before. It might have been disabled or they forgot about it. And then they
Okay.
created a new one. So there's
Mm,
another pixel ID and then they installed. So
got it.
when they
Okay.
they go to the website, there are actually two pixels installed.
So you're not gonna get accurate data if you have two.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now I understand. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we can move to the next slide. About the lookalike audience. So literally, it's just similar to your existing customers. So it looks like your existing customers. So if you have created the custom audience, so you have created an audience where you are retargeting. I mean, you create an audience who actually like visited your website, and you want to create another audience, a lookalike audience that closely resemble those people who visit your website, then you would need a lookalike audience. So because for here, when you create a lookalike audience, it would ask you for a source. So as I was mentioning a while ago, the source is like people who visit the website. So from which countries are they? And then the audience size. So just a note, the higher the percentage, the further the resemblance. So even though the estimated reach would increase like even up to around 10, 12 million, chances are they don't really resemble that much your existing customers or people who visit the website. So that's why it's ideal if you want to explore lookalike audiences. The ideal maximum of creating the size is up to around 4%, 5%. So beyond that, it would give you a big audience, but yeah, the resemblance don't expect that much because you're moving far away from how it closely from its like the characteristics of your target audience.
Nika, we just received a question from April. Are you
Mm-hmm.
all right to answer?
Okay, sure.
April is asking, does this still apply if your activities are not linked to your Facebook account? I believe Facebook can see your other activities out of Facebook, but there is also an
Mm-hmm.
option where you can turn that off.
Yeah, I actually heard about this, and even with the upcoming news on with the iOS 14, I think they're gonna have this feature wherein you can have the option to really turn off your activity track. I mean, the activity tracking for Facebook on your phone. So I'm not sure how would that affect, but to go back to your uh, question, so I'm not entirely sure on how this works because like right now we're still seeing good results. So most of the time, if for instance, if I decide to turn off that activity tracking and I was able to visit like some websites or some of our activities in the previous days, companies are still able to track them because as I mentioned a while ago, so when you create a custom audience, you can select like up to 180 days. So it's still available. I mean, your previous activity. But for a future one, I'm not so sure.
All right, thank you, Nika. April, we hope
Okay.
that that answers. If not, you can keep asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's an upcoming feature I saw it just last week about the iOS 14 that they're gonna have that option for like the Facebook app, like allowing users to just turn
Just
off.
turn it off.
So
right? But
Yeah,
even
not sure. Mm-hmm.
right, and even right now, because I was looking at my security settings with everything
Mm-hmm.
that's going on in social media. I think it was 2 weeks ago when I started looking at my own data, the data that I'm actually allowing Facebook
Mm-hmm.
to collect. And I think
Mm-hmm.
there are options, right, even right now, where you can manually turn off whichever sections.
Yeah.
I don't know what like what kind of consumer behavior, even before the iOS 14 update.
Yeah, yeah, that's also possible. Although I have to stress that, for instance, because I saw in my feed like a lot of people like using some apps, like third party apps, like for instance, the like something that you get to see your future, or like predictions, and then they would input their data. So just be cautious about entering those sites, because you don't know
Right,
if they're actually using the data that you're inputting it for advertising purposes.
right, right.
Yeah,
Good warning. Thank you, Nika.
yeah. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I would move on to the next slide. So yeah, to create a lookalike, so I get this question quite a lot. Like if you have an email list, so you create a lookalike if you're using only an ads manager. Sadly, no. So you would need a business manager to create a lookalike out of your email list. I think this is in compliance with Facebook's privacy rules. They're actually getting stricter these days. Even with the ads approval, they're very strict. Like if you mention about the physical attributes, get rejected, or like, yeah, even some images that would make the receiver feel inferior about herself, so it's automatically rejected. So before, it was possible to create lookalikes even without a business manager, but yeah, no longer applicable. So you need a business manager if you want to create a lookalike audience out of your email list. And then, so we've discussed the three types of audiences. So we move on to placement. So where do you want to show your ads? Do you want to show it on Instagram only, Facebook, Messenger? So you have options here. You have the Facebook news feed, so video feeds, right column, and you can choose if you want to select, I mean, those placements, if you want people to see this. So initially, it would be best to like really set it as automatic. And then later on, as you're testing your campaigns, you would see where your audience are mostly engaging on. So for instance, you see that your target audience is mostly engaging on Instagram feeds. So yeah, you can just select those placements. So another important note is the budget and schedule. So you have the ability to choose between daily and lifetime, or for the schedule, you want continuous or a defined schedule. So for daily budget, you give a certain amount that you would want Facebook to spend on a daily basis. So for instance, $10 or like $20 a day to use, and then the following day it would replenish. So start again from, make sure that the $20 is spent on a daily basis. But for lifetime, it's actually setting an amount for a given period. So for instance, for the schedule, so you want to run an ad starting today until June 30. So you would put like a certain amount, for instance, $100, and Facebook would spend that amount during that entire period. So it would decide whether, for instance, the first day it would spend like $30. Tomorrow, for instance, if it's seeing that more people are going to engage with the ad, it would spend 40. And then the last day, for instance, is going to be 30. So it's not consistent, the amount being spent on a daily basis if you choose lifetime budget. Unlike with daily budget, that Facebook wouldn't spend more than $20 if you put $20 in your daily budget. So for the continuous and the defined schedule, so continuous, just run it as you wish. So but you would just need to turn off the campaign or the ad set if you no longer want to continue running it. And then you can also choose a defined schedule. So yeah, like I mentioned a while ago, you can just input there that I want this ad to stop running on June 30th at 12 midnight. So even if you're already sleeping, you know that once you wake up, the ads are already turned off.
Nika,
Yeah.
what are the signals or that will help you figure out whether to stop an ad or to continue with it?
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Like, when
so
do you
there are
know?
actually several factors. Actually, for so when you're running a campaign and it's just the initial period, so you want to keep it going at least for 3 days the first time you run a campaign because you don't want to stop it quite early because you won't be able to get like accurate results. So you might hinder the its learning delivery because with Facebook Ads Manager, it's a machine learning. So you have to teach it in a way. You have to teach like you have to run several campaigns before it improves its ads performance. So if you run a campaign for the first time, don't touch it for 48 to 72 hours. I mean, don't pause it because you want to get like the most out of it. Like you really see like the number of clicks, the impressions, like people clicking through to visit your page. So yeah, I would say 3 days, don't touch it. And then if you see that it's not working, so you pause it, test a different like say audience. If you're running a custom audience before, probably you would need to try a lookalike audience, for instance. But at least give it time to run for a certain period, because otherwise you would hinder its learning delivery.
Thank you, Nika. I think also to
Okay.
give it time to generate valuable insights.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry too much. Like for instance, it seems that you're again we're going back to the prerequisites that you must have to allot money if you want to run Facebook ads because there will definitely be failed tests. So I'm not gonna lie, it happens and it would happen. Like even for myself, I've been running Facebook ads for 3 years, more than 3 years now. And for some of the strategies that I was using back in January to March, I've already changed them because something's working differently for some of my clients these days. So yeah, it's going to be ever changing, especially that Facebook continuously updates its algorithm and even its policies.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So there's also this so-called campaign budget optimization, wherein campaign budget is distributed by Facebook. So you would allow Facebook to, and so remember the chart wherein there was one campaign and then there are two ad sets. So you have the option to set a budget for each ad set, or you would put the budget at the campaign level, like let's say $50, and let Facebook decide on how much amount would be spent for ad set one and how much will be given to ad set two. So this is just how the campaign budget optimization works. So it's not really mandatory. Before they were trying to make it mandatory that you won't be able to add a budget for the ad set, but recently they actually switched back to making sure it's enabled for both. So you can set the budget at the ad set level or at the campaign level. Okay, so if there are no questions about the ad set level, we can move to the next one, the ad level. So for the creation of ads, this is what you'd actually see. So it would ask you to create, I mean to choose if you're going to use single image or collection, carousel. So different ad formats. So depending on the goal, you can make use of photos, videos, slideshows, stories. And most of us, well, actually all of us, have seen different types of ad formats available on Facebook. So you have here like where you would input your text, your headline, your description, the link to your website. So yeah, the call to action. So if it's learn more, shop now, download, yeah. So there are a lot of available call to action. So for instance, yeah, okay, no, I will put in later on. So yeah, I think we're all familiar with the types of ads. And if there are no questions about the setup of the ad, I can
Question,
show
ma'am.
you some of, yeah, sure.
Yung ano daw po, how do you do the carousel thing in a Facebook ads? Yung parang maraming picture like yung ginagawa ng Udemy, Lazada na makiklik mo per
Mm-hmm.
product.
Mm-hmm. I can do a demo po shortly after
Ayun, okay.
if uh if we still have time. So para we can like see it real time. So if you're gonna use like ad images, single ad images, so they say that these are the best practices. Like there should be human connection. So
Mm.
it's important now to have the presence of a person in that image. This is actually based on studies and some of them actually based on experience as well. Contrasting colors. So it's important that it pops out from your feed. Kasi nga naman, we mindlessly scroll on our feed and sometimes mapapastop ka if you see like this contrasting color. So it's actually a product that's being shown to you. So mapapastop ka when you're mindlessly scrolling on your feed. And then of course, branding for instant recognition with the company or the brand. They say it's also good practice to show the result of the goal. Or like for instance, you have this problem related to like let's say the eyebrow for instance, and then they would actually show in the creative about getting your eyebrows cleanly and neatly done for instance. And of course there should be a clear CTA. So what do you want them to do? You want them to book now or to learn more about the service or product, or like what we were showing in the previous example, so shop now or download for instance. And then say for ad copy, they say it's supposed to grab attention, the headline. So yeah, again, back to the idea that it should make them stop from mindlessly scrolling. And when I say clear and pretty copy, hindi siya yung magulong tingnan masyadong, kasi there's this tendency for some ads that walang spacing. So, ang sakit niya sa mata. When you look at it, parang you would not continue reading it any longer because there are a lot of information in there. Tapos, hindi maganda yung spacing or like there are characters na hindi naman talaga, parang ini-add bigla dun sa copy. So, chances are your target audience won't look at it. So, it's also a good practice if you communicate the benefit or the pain. So, like, for instance, nga, going back to the eyebrow example, like, if they want to, like, get this nicely done, but be careful. You must not assume too much that you know about your audience, because it might get rejected with the ad when you run your ad and for approval. If you your copy feels like you know quite too much about the audience that you're targeting, it's going to get rejected because Facebook doesn't want the people on Facebook to leave the platform. So that's why you wouldn't actually see ads about losing weight, like do you want to lose 5 kilos, something like that, because um, it assumes, I mean, that will assume that the person reading the ad actually is overweight, for instance. So Facebook doesn't want that. And then you must speak to your audience. So in a way, you should be able to get them, like you know what they're going through. But yeah, it's kind of tricky. So you shouldn't assume too much, but then you would speak probably with the language that they're mostly using. So you can definitely add that in your copy. And then of course, the call to action. So I would show some examples to better give you an idea of how these two, like the best ad images and ad copy practices combine. So for instance here, so we have here a sample. So ever wish running your business was just a little bit less time consuming? So it actually resonates with me because if you're a freelancer business owner, chances are you're wearing a lot of hats. So you're doing a lot of things. So the first line actually would be able to grab your attention. So yeah, I would want to have a bit less time consuming when I run my business. So discover how 17 hats can make that happen. So they would input here what they offer. Take back your time. This is just got easier. So if it's your pay that you have less time because you're focusing much more of your time running your business, chances are you're gonna read this ad because you want to learn how to tame the chaos of running your business with a simple solution, for instance. Or or in this one, the world's first apple cider vinegar gummies, that you taste the apple, not the vinegar, because most of the time people don't like the taste of apple cider. Like even me, I don't like even the smell and of course the taste. So if I see an ad that says here that I would not be able to taste the apple, I mean I would not be able to taste the vinegar, but rather taste the apple, I would be more interested to try this because, as I mentioned, I hate the smell, I don't like the taste. So this is the solution to the problem that I'm actually facing. And then, so this is actually for an example. So the past days I was collecting some local ads, and this one was actually what I saw. So for this particular brand, it's very short. So achieve your kilay goals during ECQ. So they did not mention about having girls having messy brows because waxing salons, for instance, are closed. So they just mentioned you can achieve your kilay goals, and then it's says here even that buy one take ready to ship. So if you look closely, this ad generated over 2,000 reactions, over 2,000 comments, and even more than 200 shares. And then for instance here, perfume. So they're not asking about like you should not wearing perfume or something, but they mainly said that one is one of the hottest products in the market. And if you look at the engagement, the comments and shares, like it's quite high. Like this actually showed up on my feed because I was um looking for ads that I can show as an example during this discussion. So yeah, these ads are currently running. So you will be wondering, which should I use to implement? So based on the practices that I've mentioned and like the examples I've shown, so which should I use or implement? Actually, it depends. It depends on your business goal. It depends on how it's better to showcase your product. But the best answer I would give is the ad library. So, of course, there's no need to like really reinvent the wheel, but rather you can actually see what's currently working in your industry or what your competitors are doing. So I think I had a post about this, about competitor hacking in a very legal way. So you're gonna stalk your competitors on what types of ads are they currently running. And even I create actually like a swipe file library to make sure that I see like the ads that are currently working well for the industry where my client is in. So it's very helpful, this ad library, that you can just search for ads by keyword or by the advertiser name. And if they're currently running an ad, you would be able to see the copy and then their images, even though you weren't targeted by that particular company on Facebook. So, are there any questions about the ad so far? Apart from like how to create a carousel.
So Nika, generally speaking, there's
Mm-hmm.
no better medium over the other because before we were, the mentor advised that videos always perform better than the
Mm-hmm.
other forms of ads.
Yeah. So it actually depends on the performance of the campaigns. Because right now I have a client wherein we actually launch a video ad and it's not working for them. What's working for them is the single ad images. Even though,
Mm.
yeah, mentors are saying, experts are saying that it's more effective when you use video ads. But I would say it's really best to check what the competitors or people in the industry are doing and how you can further improve, for instance, what you're currently touching on, or like to see gaps and opportunities. So that's why it's important to do competitor research as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially, for example, if your product are drones, I think it would be
Mm-hmm.
better to show how they work as
Yeah,
compared
for
to
videos.
the Kilai goals that you need just one image or maybe a carousel to showcase
Yeah,
that.
can be, yeah. So you can actually have multiple versions. So for each ad set, you can have I think up to 50 ads, if I'm not mistaken, or 60. That's around that mark. So you can test. Like for instance, one ad set has three versions of the creative. So you have, like for instance, a single ad image or a static image rather, and then a short video clip, and then a carousel. So when you run that ad, after 3 or 5 days, you will be able to see which ad is like the winner and which one you would use or utilize in the next campaigns that you're about to run. So if you notice, like during the first week of running ads for your product, you see that more people are engaged when it's a video. So chances are it's better for you to use videos because um, the target audience are responding better when you're using video ads.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
even though there are best practices, it's still best to check the ad library and see what competitors are doing or like people in the industry are doing.
Yeah, no one size fits all.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so remember that ads should be truthful, relevant, and useful. So that we going back to what I said a while ago about not touching too much on physical attributes, reading the guidelines of Facebook on their policies, like I mean, why ads get disapproved, what products are allowed, for instance, what are banned, just to make sure that you don't get ad disapprovals. Because if your ads get disapproved like numerous times within a certain period, like let's say 10 disapproved ads within a period, chances are Facebook's going to ban your ad account. And when
Mm.
it's disabled, you won't be able to create campaigns in that ad account. You would have to create a new ad account for that. Unless you appeal to Facebook that it was a mistake. So sometimes there are lapses, of course. They're not actually perfect. And then you would just need to like appeal to them that this ad actually follows their policies or guidelines. And afterwards, they would actually approve it. So I'm the type of strategist that when an ad gets disapproved the first time and I don't, and then they would actually mention the reason why the ad got disapproved. And if I think that I did not violate any of their guidelines or policies, I would actually appeal it to them, send a request for them to review the ad again. And then after 24 hours, I would see that it's already approved. So yeah, first time your ad gets disapproved, appeal it first. But if it gets disapproved again the second time, it might be something that you would need to edit on your ad. Okay, so does that mean that if you have like a stop scrolling ad into so like a really good image, then a compelling ad copy, do you think it would immediately generate the sales or the conversions you're aiming for?
My guess
What
is
what
no.
do you think? What do
I
you
think
think, sir?
I think your answer is no.
About Sir Raymond or Sir Jomar?
It's a no for me.
Ay, kagaya na ako, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're all correct. So it's a no because the ad is just one part. So you would also need to consider your offer. So from the examples we saw a while ago, there were offers about free shipping, buy one, take one. And then of course the funnel or the website. So because Facebook ad is like the forefront of like getting to know your product or your service. So it's like the door to your product page website. So if you have a good ad, but then when they land on your website, it's dysfunctional or it's like all over the place. So chances are, even though you have a really good ad, they would exit. Then of course the targeting. So even though you have a really nice creative, a very compelling copy, but then you're targeting the wrong audience, so it will not lead to conversions. So just keep in mind that apart from having a really nice creative, stop scrolling creative, and a compelling copy, you need to consider this three other options. So don't blame Facebook ads entirely if it's not converting for you. So there might be other aspects that you would need to improve on. So again, it's actually an advice for both business owners or and aspire ads managers. Don't forget to document and track ads performance. So it's important to take note of what you implemented and then the strategies you use, the audiences that you've been targeting, so that you will know if it's working or not working. So it's important to document, list it down. Like, okay, so for this week, I am testing videos only, and I'm only targeting millennials, for instance. Then at the end of the week, you see that you're not getting as much traction as you're expecting. So the second week, you decide, okay, I'm going to test an older demographic, 35 to 55. And then by doing that, you actually see positive results. So by the third week, you continue to target the 35 to 55 demographic. So it's important to keep a record of everything that you're implementing for your campaigns. And then if you are interested to know which columns to look at, so the reach, so number of people who were reached by your ad, so the impressions, number of times that your ad was viewed. So regardless of if one person saw your ad twice, so it will still count as two impressions, one reach. And frequency is actually how frequent they're seeing your ad. So any ad with a frequency score of 8 and above, you would need to change the ad because chances are people are seeing it more often. So you need a new creative. Link clicks, number of people clicking your ad, landing page views, so number of people who are viewing your landing page or product page, and then the click link through rate, or like how effective. This is actually a good indicator if your creative is working well. So the industry benchmark is actually 1%. So if it's showing up as 1% CTR, so that means your creative is actually resonating well with your target audience. So if it's below the 1% rate, chances are you might need to test a different audience or test a different type of creative or copy. And then, of course, the amount spent and the ROAS. You're actually if you're an e-commerce website and you want to see the return on like ad spend based on the purchases that you're seeing, so it's important to monitor it. Of course, no one wants a below 100% ROAS. Don't also forget to test various audiences, interests, creatives, and even objectives. So, as Sir mentioned a while ago, there's no one size that fits all. So you would need really to keep on testing, because testing is and will always be part of the process. Because even though it's working right now, in the next month or like month after next month, there's a big chance that the campaigns that you're running won't work anymore, especially if you're just letting it run as is. So definitely you would need to make optimizations. Don't also forget to build social proof. So leverage testimonials and customer reviews. So you can use this for your Facebook page and then also for promoting your ads, because when you say it, it's marketing. And when people say it, it's social proof. So chances are, like, I saw this ad the other day that I think it was a massage chair. And then someone was commented on the ad that I love my purchase so far. And someone asked, "Hey, person, how was your experience?" Or like, how much was it? They did not ask the company, but rather they asked the person who previously bought the item. So it's really important to build social proof, especially when you're doing Facebook ads, because you want to gain credibility as well, and you want to improve trust among your potential customers. That's basically it for today's discussion. So that's actually really, I would say, a very shortcut of how the Facebook Ads Manager is all about. So there are a lot of other things that uh, I need to touch on, but I just got like the essential ones, the basics that even those who have never heard of the Ads Manager would be able to learn about. Yeah. So I think like right now, the question is on the carousel ads, like how to create one. So I can do a demo for that.
Opo.
And yeah.
Tama, kasi marami pong nagbebenta online, 'di ba? Yung paano daw, 'yun ang palagi tinatanong din sa amin eh.
Okay.
'Di ba sa Lazada yun
So,
din ang ano na ginagamit nila madalas, 'di ba? Parang hahabulin ka na na-detect nila kung ano yung sinearch mo sa website nila eh, biglang
they're
dadating sa
actually
harapan mo.
using the so-called dynamic product ads.
Yun,
So I'm
yun pala yun.
introducing a new term. I'm introducing a new term. So you have to have a product catalog for that. So, sir, how do I share again?
Siguro ma'am, stop screen nyo, tapos share nyo na lang yung buong screen mo. Ayan.
Okay, got it. So, share screen.
Dapat pala itong ano no, sa itong about FB ads nasa college sir, no? Part of the curriculum, 'di ba?
I think, Joe Mark, your comment is coming from when we went to school kasi wala pa to nung time natin.
Oo.
Wala
Pero
pang
nasa school
FB
na ba
ads
to?
nun.
Nasa school na ba to, mga sir, ma'am?
I don't think so.
I actually learned this when I was working already.
Oo. 'Di ba yung mga I think magiging booming kung magkakaroon ng na degree na ano no, parang bachelor's in
Digital.
social o digital marketing. May ganun na ba? Social
There are courses naman. Meron naman. I think Benilde Space has a course on digital marketing. It also has a different course on traditional marketing. I don't know though how extensive and how
Yeah.
detailed it is if it includes Facebook ads.
Yeah. And I think the problem is that the algorithm of Facebook is always updated. So probably if they learn about it right now and then by next year it's a different structure already. Because even
Right.
like the ads manager, the interface actually is different from what it was years back. I mean, it's constantly updating and improving. So yeah, just a quick demo on the ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think before nag-carousel din ako eh for baby products.
Hmm. I would love to show Sana samples, but I am unable to show examples from some of my clients because I have signed an NDA with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I won't be able to show it. So for instance, let's see here. So for the carousel, you just need to select here, carousel, and then you need to add image for here for like for different uh, products that you're showing. But as I was mentioning a while ago, if you are an e-commerce store, there's
Mm.
an option for you to uh, add your product catalog, and
Yun.
then it would automatically load here. So I'm unable to show it right now because I don't have an e-commerce store. But yeah, I think there's this integration with Shopify, so you would just need to like upload your product catalog, and then it would already show up here. So like people who viewed this particular product, for instance, the next ones would be related to that product, or even all the products that they viewed. So it's a dynamic product ad. You can actually set it here. It will be based on the behavior of that audience, based on the pixel. So if the pixel is installed, like for instance, Lazada, and then you're viewing baking related products, so chances are you might be retargeted by an ad wherein it's mostly showing baking related products. But you can do it manually also. Like you would just select it from here to add an image, for instance.
So if you're not an e-commerce, yan na lang muna carousel para sa iba.
You can actually use the carousel to, let's say, tell a story.
Mm.
Yeah, to tell a story. For instance, first image would show like a character, and then the second is like what's happening, and then the third is actually the outcome. Actually, I forgot to mention, apart from creating and you can also use existing posts. So if you already have like, as I was mentioning, it's important to have a Facebook page with updated and relevant content. You can just select from here, and then on the Facebook page, oops, not loading. But sometimes you really just have to be patient with the ads manager because it's quite slow. Okay, so these are actually some of the pages. Um, I think this would work. These are photos. Here, you can actually do this. This is actually one of the posts that they shared. I no longer have to create it because I have it on my page. So I just selected it from here.
Mm.
Yeah.
So as long as you've already created something in the past, you can still
Yeah.
reuse it.
So
Yes.
Yun, pwede
we
pala
have
yun.
it here.
Mm-mm. So
So
sa umpisa
kaya
talaga,
hindi siya
you need to,
sayang.
you need to invest
Yeah.
time talaga at the start.
Kailangan talaga may tao ka dito, ma'am, no? If you're managing a business, hindi mo pwedeng mauubos yung oras mo kakakumpunin
Actually,
nito.
sir, kahit nga ako, hindi ako yung talagang tutok sa Facebook page ko. Kasi matutok pa ata ako sa mga clients ko, of
Oo,
course.
grabe.
But, yeah. So, for instance here, if I see, hindi ko na siya kiniklik as boost post. Dito ko na siya ginagawa as existing. So, that's why I make sure within a week, I have relevant content. So, to make sure na yung engagement. So, these are all actually organic. So, you see, 34 people reach. This one, though, is quite higher. A lot of people are actually viewing. For here, it's higher kasi I actually run this as a campaign before. So, you see it increase. So, yeah. Lahat ng nilalagay nyo sa page, you can utilize that to create an ad. So, I can even change it here. Like, for instance, I wanted to promote my website. So, yeah, andun na siya. So, as may word na sponsor, so it's an ad.
Ma'am, ano daw po yung Facebook page nyo?
It's Nica.
facebook.com/Nica lang.
Nica CFM. It
Ni-
stands for copywriting and Facebook marketing. Because I believe the two go together. So that's why I combined it.
Ayan, nakita na namin.
Okay.
All right, Nica, we have two questions from the participants. Ariane, who's from California, thank you for staying
Hi,
up
Marian.
and joining. Her question is, what are the top trackers to track ads performance?
Top trackers. I actually use only the ads manager. Are you sorry, are you asking about like the metrics that I was showing? Because as I've mentioned in my slide before, I mentioned about like the metrics to monitor. So yeah, I would actually just look here, for instance, lifetime, and I would just like really look at some of it. I mean, based on the metrics. So you can actually click through here, customize columns, and then add in here what I want to track. You can actually select which ones that you want to show up on your ads manager column. So if I just want to focus on, for instance, the essentials, so results, reach, impressions, cost per result, ad spend, schedule. I also wanted to, for instance, add clicks, link clicks, and landing page views. Yeah, so it would show up here. So as you notice, there's no landing page appearing it here because I haven't run any campaign yet because some of the local clients that I've had were mostly interested in brand awareness. So most of them don't have a website. So that's why landing page views is unavailable.
So you primarily use just this to track the performance of each
Yeah.
ad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think that answers my question. But I hope, Ariane, you can give us some feedback if you have any additional questions. But another question from Mekani Web. Do you need to create a different account in Facebook for your business? Does Facebook charge you if you use it for business?
The ad account or the Facebook page? The ad account, right? Actually, it's as long as you're not running any campaign, Facebook is not charging you. So like right now, all the campaigns are turned off. So it's free to create an ad account, but when you start running an ad, that's when you have to pay for it. So it would ask you if you're using it for your business, or it can also ask you if you're advertising on behalf of a company. There are actually two questions that you would be
Mm.
asked when creating an ad account.
Got it. I think the question could also mean if you get charged to have a Facebook page specifically for your business.
For Facebook page, there's no charge to create one. So you can definitely create the Facebook page so you can post your like products or content about your service. So it's free. But
Right.
yeah, you would be notified, especially when you're generating likes or sales. Something that I showed a while ago
Right.
about me informing that if I click on boost post, I would be able to reach more than 2,000 people. So yeah. But
Right.
anyway, you have the option whether you want to use it or not.
Okay. So no charge to use a Facebook page specifically for your business.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think those are the questions that we have so far
Sa
from the participants. So we're caught up.
Ayan, question daw ulit. Ayan, sa events, may text. Ayaw nila ng text. Ano daw ang best
Sa
practice when promoting events?
yung sa events, because it's actually actually a limit on the text limit. I mean that you can, the number of characters, I think. So what I usually do is I shorten the text, but you can promote it as an event. Because I used to promote the events of Connected Women. So to all the women attending here who attended the meetup and
Girl
saw
power.
ads by Connected Women back in 2018, 2019. So that was me targeting you. um, so yeah, I would actually promote this as, I don't have an event that I can show as an example. So you can actually message me and I can do like a demo, for instance. It's easier when there's a like concrete example. I mean, even for me, when I started learning about Facebook ads, I think I got myself to be more familiar with Facebook ads after doing a lot of campaigns. So testing, run campaigns, some fail, some win, some get successes, some fail again. So I just keep on uh, running those ads and yeah, improving them along the way. But yeah, for the events, I understand uh, the concern about the text limit. So I think I can't recall, but you would need like a shorter text for that for you to be able to run. And also the ad image, by the way,
Mm.
make sure that there won't be too much text on the ad image. So there's this image overlay tool. Can just show it
Pa-share po,
after.
pa-share.
Yeah. Share screen.
I think si Facebook, meron din siyang list of guidelines, right? That you
Yeah.
can refer
So
to,
here
Nika.
you have yes, an image text check. So you can upload an image to determine how much text is in your ad image. So if the proportion of the text is too high, your ad may not reach full audience. So let me wait lang. Stop share ko lang. I will check if I can get a sample image.
Oo, kasi yung mga ibang nag-YouTube thumbnail, 'di ba? They usually put in text sa thumbnail sa YouTube tapos biglang ni-reuse mo sa
Paglalagay.
Facebook, Bawal.
Because of the 20% text rule.
Mm.
So Facebook doesn't like it when you have too much text on your image. I think I have a sample. Wait, let me share it. So I have this
Ayan.
post. It's actually the one I put on LinkedIn, and then I use it for my Facebook page. So it says here that my image to text is okay. Your ad will run normally. So if this
Mm.
has like a lot of text, this is actually the what would happen. So if it's low, the ads reach maybe slightly lower, so it can still be approved, but then the reach is lower, so not a lot of people will be able to see it. And actually, chances are if it's high, ad may not run or it can be disapproved. And yeah, remember what I said about getting your ads disapproved quite often and resulting to a ban on the ad account, which is something that we don't want to happen.
Ayun, best practices daw po. Have you tried promoting a gamer? Paano naman sa mga gamer, ma'am? Kasi nagiging sikat ngayon yung Facebook gaming. If I'm a
Mm-hmm.
gamer starting out, ano ang magandang best practices para ma-promote ko sarili ko as a gamer in Facebook?
Mm-hmm. I will have to check because I'm not familiar with the industry. So yeah, again, if you're considering Facebook ads, you can go to the ad library, and then you could probably check if there are people who are already advertising in that specific industry. So
I
let me
sorry,
share.
Nika,
Yeah,
let me
sure.
share a little bit about that because I recently was doing a collaboration with an esports company,
Yan.
Mm-hmm.
and it's a talent management company that handles all of these amazing talents like
Tier 1 ba yan, ma'am?
Alodia, Will Dasovich, and so on and so forth. And so uh, mga gamers. And so what I noticed was they don't do a lot of paid ads, but what they do is like branding lang talaga, similar to what we do on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. And so they
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm.
their own page, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good friends with the marketing manager, and the marketing manager shared with me that what he does for branding is, let's say yung content niya for that company, uh, they have a schedule for it on a weekly basis. So let's say they post in LinkedIn or on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so, like, kunwari, every Monday they would post about a gamer, like a
Mm-hmm.
featured gamer, and then every Wednesday they post about something about the gaming, about the esports industry as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
like what are the developments. And then let's say on a Friday, I forgot what it was for a Friday, pero one example would be what's a new game that's out there, that's trending for all gamers. And so for maybe something for a gamer who's interested in getting their brand out there. It's your personal brand that you need to be building, which means that you can build up your brand by talking about the industry that you're in, talking about the
Mm-hmm.
games that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then ang sinabi mo rin kanina, Nika, was, and si Sir Raymond din, was to make sure that you have photos. And so what I
Yeah.
also noticed among these gamers is you're always streaming it. That's your content. And then another part of your streaming
Mm.
then is you have to invest in a really good camera so that you
Yeah.
have photos that show that you are playing that game. And
Yeah.
so that's the kind of content that you want to keep on feeding on your Facebook page.
I
Yeah.
see.
Baka
Yeah.
makatulong.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with this with the Facebook game, so I'm unable to answer the question.
It's all right. Lahat tayo bago din. But
Oo.
these are just tidbits lang na nakuha ko from
This is
talking with
interesting.
them. Eh. Yeah, it is. It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Sila tier 1 ba yun, Miss Roch?
Yes, sir. Year one.
Oo.
Yeah, and soon Facebook is going to introduce Facebook shops. So
Mm.
apart from the Shopify, I think from the Shopify website, you can already sell your products within your Facebook page. So Facebook is working with Shopify on that, so that you don't have
Mm.
to exit Facebook to complete your purchase. So probably that's why, even though if they would be strict about what Facebook tracks outside of Facebook, we would still be able to get data because of those updates that would be coming soon.
Ayun, question ulit about affiliate marketing. 'Di ba yung affiliate marketing, ma'am, 'di ba, is you get to click a link and pag bumili sila
Mm-hmm.
doon, you get to earn a commission. So, have you tried that one? Any suggestions
No.
about affiliate
It's
marketing?
really e-commerce and lead gen that I have experience with.
Oh, iba din 'yun. So, anyone here na
It's a different
nakapag-try nun?
area.
May question ako for Nika.
Sir.
Kasi Nika, I've tried this before eh. I remember parang naka end-to-end process din yata ako. So I really had this online business. I had my Shopify, like
Mm-hmm.
Facebook ads din ako, and then um until may na-convert, and then I was able to collect the payment. However, as you mentioned earlier, things can be discouraging, especially if you
Mm-hmm.
don't see conversions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like you're gambling. You'll feel
Exactly, that's the word.
excited,
Mm-hmm.
and then the impulsiveness comes in, so you lack the preparation, the strategy, and then you end up disappointed again because it doesn't convert. So what advice can you give to to our fellow listeners right now about that?
Well, actually, my recommendation mostly for local clients, especially like if they don't have enough budget to gamble for ads, is really to focus first on building engagement on your page. And then when you're ready, because it would come, I mean, you would notice that even though you're starting with boost posts, eventually you would attract more potential customers. So that when you decide to finally try the ads manager, hindi siya yung magiging impulsive in a way kasi you know that you've prepared for it. So I would say really to focus first on your Facebook page, and then once you're posting relevant content and then you have your website, you have it ready, slowly, but you will be able to slowly but surely get the results that you want. Because I've had experience with clients like really starting from scratch and then slowly transitioning them to the ads manager. So I really don't advise like starting off again with jumping off with ads manager, but really I would check the page first and see the engagement that this potential client is getting. And of course, set a minimum budget. So, wag masyadong excited. I would say like, how much are you willing to lose? So, I have to be honest and transparent about it because as I was saying, mahirap yung Facebook ads in the first 2 weeks. So it would really focus on generating data. But don't worry kasi you would have more information about your target audience. You would have an idea na, ito palang creative na to, mas gusto nila tong, uh, it resonates with them, for instance, or the copy. So yeah,
Thank
that
you.
would be my advice. You're welcome.
Ayun. Ma'am Roch?
No questions for me yet kasi after this I will be experimenting on my own. and, will, and will probably message Nika in case I run into anything. Pero I just wanted to share my 3 takeaways from the conversation today. Facebook ads is both a science and an art. There's a process that you should follow, but at the same time, an art because it's trial and error because you don't know
Yeah.
what kind of content will resonate with your audience, and so it's a good balance between science and art. And then another thing that I'm getting is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nika, but it's not enough to just have a Facebook page or a website.
Yeah.
There has to be
Yeah.
consistency in the content that you create for your pages. Otherwise, your reach will not reach anybody. If they see that you are outdated, then chances are they're not going to engage with you because you're not there, you're not present. One mentor, her name is Tina Barreto. She was my instructor in Benilde. She said she's a global events director. If you guys are not familiar with her, but she said that if you don't have a website, then you don't have a business. That's one thing. Pero preferred naman talaga yung may website
My
ka. But
website.
yes. Pero the bottom line there is you need to make sure that your content is relevant and it resonates with your target market, and then you need to consistently do it. So pag ginawa mo na siya na daily, wag mong pipigilan
Yes.
ng daily. You have to make sure
Sayang
that
yung
you keep doing.
engagement.
Yes, kasi mapupush yung second degree and your third degree connections to explore who you are, what you're made of, and what you can actually do for them. Yun yung yung third kong takeaway is you really need to invest time and money at the very beginning to test
That's
and
true.
see what works. And so, marami dyan na they keep posting and posting on Facebook, but they don't have a Facebook page. They don't invest in kahit 200 pesos or 300 pesos man lang
Yeah.
for ads.
Yeah,
But you
even for the books. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you just have to make sure that you're investing kahit konti lang para makita mo kung ano yung potential ng Facebook ads for your business. Yun. So those are my three takeaways. So thank you very much for sharing all of that, Nika.
Thank
Ayan.
you.
Yeah.
Ah, Sir Raymond, ayan, may sasabi ka pa ba? And then Miss Nika.
Oo.
And
I
then
think
let's wrap up.
ang ganda nung key takeaways ni Roche. So siguro na lang ako, I'll ask another question for Nika. So Nika, of course you were able to provide so much value for today. But of course that's not enough for people who would like to
No,
really take this as
that's only like the tip of the iceberg.
Oh.
yeah, correct. So because just of the limited time. But where
Yes.
do you advise people to go, to take this little step further, if they want to pursue this as their career or maybe a side hustle? Yeah, so
Yeah.
where can they go and how do they learn more about this?
Initially, there are two ways. So there are actually coaches, local and foreign ones, who are teaching about Facebook ads. And secondly, there's actually this so-called Facebook blueprint. So when I first learned about Facebook ads, actually it was my former boss who taught me about Facebook ads. And then when I was improving on the strategies that I wanted to implement for our campaigns, I turned to the Facebook blueprint. So it's actually free. You just need to sign up for the Facebook blueprint, and then you will be able to go through the various sections. But my advice, if you really want to like learn and get a solid grasp of Facebook advertising, it's really more of learning by experience. It's not enough that you go through the sections or like continuously read. You have to implement it and see how the results are getting. So if you could get a coach, there are actually a few, I think not really few, but there are some coaches here in the Philippines are actually teaching Facebook ads to beginners.
Do you offer paid coaching, Nika?
I was going to ask that too. Coach ka rin, di ba?
Ayaw pa diretsuhin ni Nika eh.
Actually, I offer consultation. So for like completely beginners, so I don't have yet like a program. So what I usually do is offer consultation like to people who are already using Facebook ads. What they need to do, like for instance, they have existing clients and then they would want to learn new strategies. Yeah, so I do consultations and then trainings as well. So I offer last year I had a training with Money Max Philippines. So for 2 days I trained their marketing team for basic and advanced Facebook ads workshop. So I'm more keen to like I think my market, my target audience is more on like the business owners and like already existing ads manager. So with the newbies, right now I don't have yet a program. Perhaps in the coming months or next year.
Yan.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Thank
Ayan.
you.
So, once more, inviting everyone. If you have a message, or an advocacy to share sa mga nanonood dyan, inviting you to be our next speaker or sharer. Ayan. So, thank you, Miss Nica. Ayan, final words na
Thank
daw.
you.
Thank you, Nica.
Thank you so much to everyone who attended today's discussion. I hope you learned some information about Facebook ads. As although it's just the tip of the iceberg, I'd be happy to continue sharing information on my LinkedIn profile. So if we're not yet connected, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and you would be able to get more information about Facebook ads because I regularly post on my LinkedIn profile. Thank you, everyone, again.
Ayan. Thank you, everyone. See you again sa next
Thank you.
live
Thank you,
stream
sir.
natin.
Thank you, Sir Jean-Marc, and thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you,
Roch.
Mark Roch. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Happy weekend, everybody.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.